Everybody, we are here at Six Flags Magic Mountain for opening day. It's the first day in California that theme parks, amusement parks, rides of any sort of this nature are allowed to be open. So this is not a tasting. This is the park being open. This is actually a membership preview type day, but we are in that phase of things in April where parks are opening up here. Reservations are required. There's strict capacity limits. Obviously masks required, distancing, etc., etc. So we'll show a little bit of that as we go around here in other Southern California parks in the weeks ahead. But it's really cool to be back in a park that's like alive in a really real way, meaning, you know, you're hearing coasters whip around, you're seeing people kind of, you know, getting in lines for things, and it just feels normal versus kind of what we've been in with all the tasting stuff. So we got here, we had a late appointment here. We're getting back from Florida. We were at the Orlando parks the last 6 days. So we're back here in California. We booked a late slot, so we're just going to check out a couple hours here. It's pretty hot, as you would imagine. Valencia is usually very hot. Parking, one thing to note in advance, in addition to booking your reservation and having your ticket and all that, is they still are doing COVID vaccines at Six Flags Magic Mountain in the parking lot. So a lot of the parking's taken up with that. So even though there's really reduced capacity, I think it's 15% today, we still parked really far away, really far away. So just manage your expectations on that if you're coming out. I know, like us, we're like, oh, we're going to park pretty close. That was not the case. So that being said, start making our way around. Take a little bit of look at a park open after, I believe it's been 382 days closed. All right, the six items they're focusing in on just as reminders for people in terms of safety. But one thing we want to highlight on the way in is all of the touchless making your way in. So they are using the thermal scanning for the temp check. So it's really quick. You're just going through, and if you went to any of the Knott's tastings, they are using that form. And then they are also using a new and improved security system, a little bit more similar to what we experienced actually at Walt Disney World, where you are no longer emptying your bags and having people go through your bags. They are scanning you as you come in. Then you obviously make your way to the gate, let them check your reservation, tickets, and then you're on your way in. So they've touted that mobile ordering will be available in quite a few spots. As of today, there's only 3 locations that seem to be active with it. I'm sure that'll be changing in the days, weeks ahead. They also have kind of gated off specific eating areas as one of the requirements for food in the park from the state. And there's a coaster with actual people on it. When we made our way out here for West Coast Customs drive-through version, or their drive-through kind of museum that they had, it was so strange seeing all of the park without guests in it and just kind of driving around, which is really cool. But they had the coasters kind of whipping around, but again, no guests as expected during February and March. But here in April, people are actually riding coasters. All right, at Drop of Doom, you can see the spacing there. They just got kind of the generic yellow dots about distancing on the ground there. No queuing allowed indoors as of this time with the new rules. So got a plan for being out in the sun the way a lot of the Florida attractions are, but without the benefit of kind of where they have the kind of indoor at the end. A lot of times out here, you're kind of staying outdoors in theme parks for the foreseeable future. And the gaming area is open here. The majority of the games, they do have the distancing line there if you're just somebody watching, and then you can see the dots here. But even Vertigo is up and running there. So looks like the bulk of the game areas are working. And Johnny Rocket is one of the 3 places open for mobile ordering right now. At this current time, it's about an hour wait to pick up mobile ordering. So if you're going to go that route, if you're going to be here, make sure to order early. Over here in the front of the Hall of Justice, they've added a bunch of seating to make this another kind of courtyard area for dining. Riddler is running, but Ace of Clubs is closed. Not too bad of a wait. This is one we wanted to check out to see kind of how they're handling the indoor portions of this. So let's get in line.
Marker on the floor.
So No pre-show at this time. Let's go straight into the queue. All right, we just wrapped up Justice League. It was great to be back on the ride. It's a lot of fun still if they have that sort of ride at the park at all. They do keep you mostly queued outside. You get to see the statues as you come in with the Trinity there and then Cyborg, but obviously no pre-show elements there. So they're really letting you inside just kind of at the last minute when it's in the loading zone area. Screens looked good. The figures looked good. I think actually both looked a lot better really than the last time we rode the ride in 2019 or whenever it was, late 2019 maybe, for Fright Fest or something like that. So fun to be back in there, and it felt very strange riding a ride in California to me. I don't know, it's been such a taboo thing here for so long, so to kind of see those steps. A little strange, they didn't have hand sanitizer at the end of the ride, so really like what Florida, Universal Studios Orlando does in Florida, where they were putting hand sanitizer on everybody as they board rides. That was not the case with Walt Disney World. That's not been the case here, so it's just something we've seen at Universal, but really like that. Would like to see them do something like that, especially for a ride here, like where you're going to be shooting the guns, but I guess they sanitize in between, things like that. So fun being back on Justice League, though. All right, at the back of the park, we're here at West Coast Racers and just the whole West Coast section of the park. It's kind of surreal, maybe more than any of the spots, to be back here, because the last time we were here with the park fully functioning was for the opening day media stuff in the morning. And so, we saw everybody rush in to be the first to ride it, and then we were not back here. That was in, January of 2020, and then we didn't come back in February, and then right there in March, obviously, it was all closed down. So on top of the hill, we see Cat's Kettle there. They seem pretty backed up as well. I think that's something we've seen with a lot of the food here, is kind of long lines waiting. Probably going to need to recalibrate with some of that and definitely be using mobile ordering more. Most all of the food options have signage that says mobile ordering. So once more of the locations are open, that should help. It is important to note this is the first day that they have been open at all to guests in over a year. So whereas places like Knott's have had kind of a year of getting their employees ready for this world with their tasting events, that's not been the case here. So they are really going to be learning on the run, much like we've seen Disney doing with the Touch of Disney event over at DCA. All right, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of a feel for the reopening day here at Six Flags Magic Mountain, some of the procedures they have in place and things to keep people safe. We'll have a lot more videos like this. Please like and subscribe and let us know if you are following along with us. All the things here, I think it's a good first day back. There's definitely tweaks that they'll have to do. There's more sanitation stations they can add. There's more team members that they'll need kind of managing lines and things like that and helping with that. More of the food workers, things like that. But this is how every single park that we've been to has been on the first couple days of reopening, and really in some cases for even weeks, as these tasting events all needed time to kind of work out the kinks and things like that. It's really important to remember with all of these parks that as they close for whatever amount of time they did, it's not like the employees kind of are animatronics that just flip a switch and they come back on. A lot of these places lost a lot of their team members. They have to retrain people, hire new people, all these new procedures for everybody that's involved in it. So there's a lot that goes into this whole process, and places like Knott's Berry Farm will have an advantage in this process because they've basically been open the entire time. Not the entire time, obviously, but on and off throughout this entire time, kind of figuring things out as they go. And as things needed to be improved, they improved them. Whereas a place like Six Flags, they've not had an in-person event here. They have the two drive-through experiences, but they haven't had people walking the park and riding rides or, going to the food lines or anything like that for over a year. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Just as we've seen with Disney, first day back at Disney, they're out there painting things right in plain public view. Things that could have happened during the closures didn't happen, and instead are being worked on in front of the public. And you're like, well, why didn't they keep those people employed and have them work? It's just their corporate philosophy that they, let everybody go, furloughed so many people, and that was something that didn't happen. So I think we'll see all these different places have kind of different approaches, but all of them will kind of tighten things up. But I think just even looking at how they have the cashless payment system here that they're trying to set up is really great. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You're turning your money into, Six Flags dollars. It's a little bit of a hassle for sure. We've seen some of the little ones, particularly like their parents sent the kids in to go buy a drink, and they seem pretty confused by it and all of that. So not the easiest thing, but it's definitely a commitment to try to do something that they feel will help increase safety. And so they're willing to do those things the new security procedures out front, the temperature checks, the thermal scan, all of that. Good signs for Six Flags going into this new era. So we will have more videos like this as Disneyland reopens, as DCA, as all the rest. So please follow along with us again. We're wrapping up here from Six Flags Magic Mountain. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.